All right. We've talked a lot about far-off future software, not yet delivered products that consumers may eventually get their hands on someday. Let's talk about something that's happening right now, which is advancements in rockets. Okay. Just to put it in context, you guys have heard this spiel before probably, but if anyone's not been paying attention, rockets have been single use for forever, and they're really, really big and really expensive, and you launch a rocket and drops down into the ocean, and that's it. You don't get to use a booster anymore. You got to build another one, right? So SpaceX was built around this idea of reusing rocket boosters. Totally cool idea, but how do you reuse a rocket if it lands in the ocean? Well, you land it somewhere after it launches and then use it again. You refurbish it, fill it back up with fuel, and send it back to space again, dramatically reducing the cost per launch of sending things into space. Incredible idea, but like engineering-wise, that sounds crazy. And then we started to see them actually pull this off. They started doing tests. They started doing test launches of like just a rocket booster flying up into space and then lowering itself back down to the launch pad. And that was incredible.
It was on
Not
a
even
pad
space.
in the ocean.
Yeah, first from the pad in the ocean, not even into space, a few hundred feet, coming back down, landing.
Well, no,
that.
sorry, just to correct, it launched from the launch pad and landed on the pad in the ocean.
Oh, before all of that.
Oh, okay.
Before all of that. Just launching from the ground up a few hundred feet and then coming back down. Just that. Amazing. We've never seen that before. Holy shit, they did it. Then they started launching higher and coming back down and landing in the same spot. But of course, rockets scale goes hard. So if you go really, really high up, the Earth literally rotates underneath you. You can't land in the same spot. So they would land on a different location from where they took off. And it would be like a launching pad in the middle of the ocean, and it would land and it would actually work. And they kept getting further and further and more impressive. And they seem to have gotten incredibly good at this, because the latest version of this, which we've just witnessed, was, I want to say, the biggest rocket ever. So 200 feet tall. That's a building-sized rocket. That's 20-story building. So wherever you live right now, look outside and see if you can find the nearest 20-story building. And imagine that taking off, flying up into space, getting some cargo into orbit, and then lowering itself back down to the same launch pad where it took off, where it got caught by the tower that it took off from. So it literally had these giant arms that just closed in and caught the rocket.
Yeah.
The rocket is 200 feet tall.
Yeah.
This is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I wish I actually saw it in person with my eyes. It's been a long time since I've watched this, a rocket launch in person, but this might be the coolest damn thing ever.
I would have loved to see it in person.
Yeah.
Because just seeing the video like on the timeline had my jaw on the floor.
The
It was
videos
wild.
they can't do it justice either, because there's no scale. So you're seeing this, it's a rocket-shaped thing coming back down to Earth. But then you see like the cell phone videos of people who are like maybe a few hundred miles away, and you can see this like building falling out of the sky with like rockets coming out of it. It's kind of sick.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I got some of the details wrong on like the progression of like how they launch these rockets and land them. But dude, they're landing rockets in giant tweezers.
One of my favorite thing about this is that the tweezers close on it, but it just has these little two like crab leg, like linchpin things that are barely jutting out of the 20-story building that hold the whole thing up. It slowly lands on the tweezers as the tweezers close.
So originally it was supposed to be landing on its own legs, which I think, is that what the Falcon 9 one did in the ocean?
Before. Yeah.
But I guess they just decided
To catch
it was
it.
so big and getting back that it's easier to put, those are specific load-bearing points just to catch it.
Which is crazy, because the points were very small and it held up a
They're small and the
20-story
rotation has to be correct, right? Because it comes in from the side. So if you're going parallel with that, it doesn't catch it.
What's a 20-story, 200-foot
Math is
building?
crazy.
What is a nice?
Math goes
How
hard.
tall is the Eiffel Tower? 1,000 feet tall. Okay, that's a little
It's a
tall.
fifth of the Eiffel
Statue
Tower.
of Liberty. Imagine the Statue of Liberty.
Actually, that would be so sick.
Wait, really? It's the size of the...
Imagine the Statue of Liberty just blowing off into
The
space right
Statue
now.
of Liberty is 300 feet tall with the top of the torch. So, like, Lady Liberty herself is probably 200 feet tall. Imagine the entire Lady Liberty flying back through this.
Was it Starship?
No, but then you have to catch her.
Starship.
I know. You gotta catch
Starship
it
is
right under her arms like this.
165 feet tall.
Well, no. Starship is 165 feet tall. The booster that it caught is 230 feet tall.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
The stage that fell back down.
Dang.
Because Starship still went, I believe, in this launch around the Earth's atmosphere and landed in the Indian Ocean.
So the total height is like 365 feet?
I don't know what the total height is because I don't know. I don't think it's directly on top of each other.
Oh, 400 feet. Yeah, Starship total is 400 feet.
It is,
Payload
okay.
is everything combined is like some insane massive thing. But just the rocket booster was 200 feet tall.
You know what's crazy about this too? Like, imagine that 200, like Lady Liberty launching her into space. You know how much like fuel you need to do that? Oh yeah. To just get that thing out into orbit. And then imagine that falling down and needing to also still have fuel left over to like push it.
To slow it down.
To slow it down. Like that's
and I know
crazy.
I know really nothing about rocket science.
Yeah.
But in some of the books or audiobooks that
I think
I've
we're
read,
experts actually. So.
in some of the audiobooks I've heard, it obviously is an insane science experiment, but all the things that can go wrong usually end in all of the evidence being exploded, which is a unique challenge. Like, you ever think about, I don't know, you fail at something and you can sort of you can look at what you did and see, oh, okay, I was putting a puzzle together, this piece didn't fit, so I could pull it out and pull it back together. But in rocket science, it'll be like, oh, we realized that the fuel was sloshing too much as it changed directions, and that's why the whole thing exploded.
Yeah.
So now we'll put it back together, but like change the angles of some of the like fins inside the fuel tank so that it doesn't slosh as much when it goes back down.
Yeah.
And they'll figure that out from the like remains on the ground of the rocket. Like, this is insane.
The crime scene.
Yeah.
So the fact that it all worked out, and that was the first try for this rocket, for this booster.
Yeah, which is wild.
already a pretty good.
I did not know that
Was it the first try?
Was it?
Yeah, it was the first
Holy
try for this
crap.
one. This impressed every single person on the planet except for Shania Twain.
Wait,
Okay, who's that?
I need to know this. This is now the most interesting part of this.
Why?
Oh, damn it. Because that don't
she said,
impress her.
So, you're a rocket scientist. That don't impress me much.
I thought she actually commented on it.
So you've got the brains, but do you have the touch, Andrew?
Oh, wait,
I see.
I think you're all right.
I have a question. I have a question for you guys about this.
Yeah.
So like, it probably takes like what, like 2 hours, an hour to go all 15 minutes. How long does it take to go all the way around?
I think it
the
was
world?
45 minutes.
45 minutes. Okay, so it takes
this specific one.
45 minutes, to go up, round the world, land back down, right? That gives you another 23 hours and 15 minutes where your rocket could be making you money.
The thing is, it is self-driving
That's
already.
true. It's self-driving.
Full self-driving.
Full self-driving. And
unsupervised.
there was a point in time in which Elon said that you would be able to get to China in like 40 minutes on a rocket like this. He did say this. Yeah.
You don't have to productize everything.
Yeah.
Let's not get nuanced.
Let's not get nuanced. But
Yeah.
But all this to say, congrats to everyone at SpaceX because this was
pretty
freaking incredible.
It was wild to watch.
Yeah, it was so cool to watch, and I recommend watching it on YouTube.
And thank you to Scott Manley in 2013 for coming up with this idea. And that's a reference 6 people will get, and I love you for it.
None of those people are in this room.
They are. They are, because every time I mention Kerbal Space Program,
I like Kerbal. Did this happen in Kerbal Space Program?
one of like the original like super legendary Kerbal Space Program Let's Plays was like this 200-part series where he wouldn't let a single part get destroyed. Like every single part had to get returned to Earth. And then like eventually the rockets did become reusable where like he never actually like loaded them back into the game. He would just load a fuel truck that he designed to like refuel. So
Very cool.
Hey, thanks for watching this clip. Do me a favor and tell your Tesla bot, your Optimus robot, to hit the like button.
Because that's too much work.
Like, hand him the mouse. Don't even hand him. Just tell him to him. Tell it. Tell them, because you have 2, to just grab the mouse and click the subscribe button. They'll know what to do.
And then the other one can comment for you.
For sure.
And it can comment.
I hope this video has 0 likes.
Wow.
Well, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be a few years until we get any likes.
True.
Oh, true.
Then they start shipping and this video's going to blow up.
You know how the YouTube randomly grabs videos? It's just because all the Optimus robots got to it.
Lane in 10, 15 years is going to be like, Dad, why is this video of you trending on YouTube?
Like, Optimus must have finally shipped.